But you want to sit there and say, well, you couldn't even afford it. Okay, well, Beyonce's not your friend.
No matter what, whether we could afford a fucking whatever,
Right,
it
right.
doesn't change
Like, at
the
the end
facts.
of the day, who cares whether you have more status or whether we could afford shit, have our name on shit, get invited to shit or not? Nigga, like, at the end of the day,
she's still not your friend.
Beyonce's not your friend. You're not connected to her, and you never will be.
This the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, rock, top, top.
Blah, blah, blah. Welcome back to another episode of the Betty Headquarters. I'm your host, Tiana Locke, and this is
Jessie Strange.
Yes. And today we are back at it again with another video. And today's topic is going to be an interesting topic because we are going to be talking about this whole situation with Jason Lee and Beyonce. So let's get into it. I mean, it's a crazy situation.
Yeah, no. So we were in Puerto Rico when this came up, and it was just so surprising. I follow Murad Merali on YouTube, and he had posted about it. He's really good at like keeping up with all the tea going on in the industry, especially with P. Diddy or whatever. So I thought it was interesting to see Jason Lee and Beyonce in the same title. So we gonna get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna like debunk this shit, whatever there is to debunk, because obviously, you know, it's Beyonce. Once Beyonce is involved, it gets wrapped up super quickly. So we are going to.
It really does.
It does. It does get wrapped up and brushed under the rug super quickly. So we are going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the history, whatever history there is, and
whatever we could find, you know, and whatever we do find is accessible to y'all too, you know.
Exactly.
We do our best to get all the information and make our
analysis
and our opinions based on the information we find. So
and this also is going to be like one of those things where we're going to be talking about the industry. So let's get into it. So who is Jason Lee? Who is he?
Jason Lee, I mean, he is the
founder of Hollywood Unlocked. He is the host and executive producer of his own show, the Jason Lee podcast show.
He was on what is that show?
Love and Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop.
He hosted a lot of, well, not a lot, but 2 Zeus reunions, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, but he knows some people as Zeus. That's what we know about Jason Lee. That is who he is. Some people hate him. Some people love him.
People love to hate him.
Let's not start too early, girl. You see, let's not start so early.
Okay.
Because obviously that's going to be a question that comes up later on.
Okay.
So Jason Lee had took to his show and his platform, and he discussed that he felt some type of way when he wasn't invited to Beyonce's Renaissance movie premiere. He said that, you know, he donated $40,000 and felt that, you know, she should have invited him, and, you know, as a Black journalist, and how, you know, she needed to be more supportive of his emphasis was uplifting Black people, but also his emphasis was on in the industry, but also Black journalists. Like, I feel like that was one of the things that he kept saying was Black journalists. So, we not even.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
We gotta explain it first. We gotta explain it first. So, you know, in this clip where he is expressing his feelings about not being invited, he is talking about how, you know, he claims that he thought him and Beyonce were friends, and that, he felt some type of way. He donated money. He promoted a lot about the movie premiere, told his friends, like, you know, just shared a lot of information, and he just felt some type of way. I don't know what to call it, because he's out here talking shit about other YouTubers that said in their videos, oh yeah, he's upset that he didn't get invited. But that's another story towards the end. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we'll talk about that. So yeah, we do have a clip of him talking about it.
I think optically, when you don't include other Black leaders in the culture in the fold, I mean, not just take me out of it. The Breakfast Club, I mean, you should have honored and brought more Black. And I spent thousands, over $40,000 in tickets and shared the experience with friends. And I've done a lot, and I'm not even going to say it here because if I did, this internet, Beyonce's good internet would go crazy. I'm going to tell them while Johnny puts a beep over this part of the show, so you'll never know what it is, but I want you to see their reactions, and I'm going to do it right now. Ooh. And that's where I go back to, like, we're friends in the game. We support each other. We help each other out. Can you imagine had I put that on Hollywood Law? Oh, there was one more thing. Beat this, Johnny.
Woo!
So that in itself, I think Beyonce could have gave me a, you know what I mean? Like, there should be a little love there. Now,
maybe she doesn't know.
Beyonce doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce, and they're not going to share that with her.
Yvette knows. I got the receipts. I still have the receipts. Yvette know I got the receipts. I got them. Now, if I get that message to Beyonce,
yes,
I
she
can
needs
get
to
it
know.
to I'm connected. I could get the message to Beyonce.
She needs to know.
And I think people like her publicist, who I love, and I'm just being critical. That's just what I do. You know that, Yvette. We're trying to book Kelly Rowland right now. Now, if I don't get Kelly Rowland because I say this about, then it's gonna be a problem. Then I'm putting out receipts. The receipts I just told you about, then I'll put those out.
The fires that will come of that.
I ain't worried. I ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now. I'm not playing this industry.
So that was a clip. Yeah, that was a clip of him allegedly bleeping out the dirt that he had or has on Beyonce and whatever the case may be. And in that clip, he also makes note of her publicist by the name of Yvette Noel-Schure. And I'm just so confused because now then you go on to say, if I don't get Kelly Rowland, then I'm releasing the receipts. Like, I just don't know what's going on. What receipts? Or again, like, what is this? Is this real? Is this fake? Like what's really going on here? So now it just looks like first you say we're friends, then you proceed to like blackmail to get Kelly Rowland on your show. It's kind of, I don't know, it's giving backwards. It's giving contradicting, I don't know.
Can I say how I feel about this whole thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, because that whole clip was extremely long. So we got to take it back and really break it down, right? Because the internet at the end of the day that's a piece of context, right? And unfortunately, the tea that he had was bleeped out. First of all, let's talk about the reactions. We've all been victim to believing a lot of these things, right? Mm-hmm. It is no coincidence that these people who he have on there are making, I feel like, in my opinion, a more dramatized reaction than they normally would have. I think it would have just been like oh shit. But like, the whole, the dramatization of it all is just to sell it because they know they're on camera. Mm-hmm. They're Jason Lee. They want to sell the oh shit type of thing, Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to remember those facts, remember that while watching this clip. However, I do believe that Jason Lee does have some dirt on whatever situation is going on. I mean, but what haven't we heard already? You know what I'm saying? And my thing is this. He is the example of what the industry is, right? So when the higher you go climbing the ladder on the industry, the more you really find yourself in situations where you're having friendships, relationships with these people not genuinely, but transactionally. Right. How you benefit from each other, how you guys can, benefit, make business moves. It's more of that. So I've noticed that Jason said, he says this a lot. He says, I love Beyonce, but then proceeds to threaten her, right? You don't love someone and then proceed to blackmail them. And I think he uses the word love very, very loosely, because that's how he is able to be Jason Lee and get in cahoots with all the people. He's a good speaker, right? He can talk you and then eventually ask you good questions to get you to open up. That's what he does. Right. That's why a lot of people are on, they tiptoe around him, because that's just who he is as a person. He doesn't try, maybe sometimes but it's just who he is. Now, he says, oh, I'm just being critical. You're not being critical. You're being messy. There's a difference between journalism when you're reporting facts that are already out, and then you're threatening to release information that is not out on your platform. There's a difference. And this is the same thing that Amanda was talking about. I was
just about to say that.
On her podcast. Because he likes to blend himself with journalism, because there is a fine line. And sometimes the content that he posts is journalistic.
Right.
However, he adds in the messy tea. That's why he's Hollywood Unlocked. That's what makes him who he is. That's why he has a reputation. Right. You can't sit there and say you're a journalist while threatening to tell Beyonce's dirt. It makes no sense. It sounds like you're a schemy person who can't be trusted, and it looks really bad on him. And it's very, later on in the clip or somewhere throughout this podcast, he actually have a clip of it where he goes on to express his love for Beyonce. And I want to really show you guys real quick.
Beyonce. This girl right here is ours. She's us. This is ours. We love this girl. We love her mama. We love everything about this girl. We love Solange. We love Solange's son. We love the family. We love the twins. We love Lil Blue, Jay. We love this is Black excellence. So I feel some type of way that, one, you guys are saying that she's trying to be a white woman. Y'all trying to say she trying to be a Kim Kardashian? Now that in itself.
So I chose to show you guys that because he wants to, I feel like it's a little bit of love bomb. I love you. But you don't really love somebody when you're threatening them to expose, especially someone who's beyond, like Beyonce, who's very, particular about her privacy. That's not real love. You're lying. One. Right. And then two, you sound like a fan that was hurt because he wasn't invited. Yo. And I haven't even gotten into.
We didn't even get there yet.
Yeah. Because you sound bitter. That's what it sounds like. You sound like you're a fan. There's that clip, of him, which will show you before he lost weight.
So at the Grammys, when, he saw Beyonce at the Grammys, I don't remember the year yet. I don't remember the year period. But yes, he saw Beyonce at the Grammys and he wanted to get a picture. And it kind of looked like in the video that she was curving him and really was not trying to even give him any attention, because she probably knows who he is and knows what he does, and, probably just didn't want to associate with that. And I have the clip here. We can pull that up. I'm not gonna hold you. I do get a little bit of secondhand embarrassment from the clip, because it's like you can tell that she's obviously trying to avoid him, but is still trying to be nice. I know what that looks like when someone's trying to be nice, but they just don't really want to interact with you. And that's what that looked like in that clip. And this is not shitting on him, but this is just what we are getting from this video.
Right. And he went online to address it and said that they edited to seem like it was like that. But it really wasn't.
It was a full clip. How was it edited?
And I was going to say that, first of all, it was definitely not edited. You could see it. That was a full cut. There was no cut in between.
Right.
But, I'm one to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm one to say, okay, maybe that's true, right? But he's still, let's not even focus on Beyonce's, the way she was moving. Let's focus on how he was moving. He's still moving like a fan that wanted a video and a picture with her.
Exactly. And just because you're in the industry, that doesn't exempt you from still being a fan.
Exactly.
It's okay. You know what I mean?
100%.
Just because, your status may be higher than ours, that doesn't mean that you're still not a fan desperate to probably become Beyonce's friend.
Exactly, like you are with Rihanna. And this is something that I really want you guys to really pay attention throughout this entire episode. I really want you to keep in mind and build this image of who Jason Lee is, right? Or the things that we get to see throughout, you know, all the videos and the things he says. I'm gonna show you a clip, and then I'll break it down after.
Have one, because we talk about you.
Yeah.
Right.
Why the fuck would you want to not have a relationship with the people that's gonna keep talking shit, whether you have whether you participate or not?
You heard that. That's very telling of who he is as a person. He expects people in the industry to not be genuinely his friend, but to only be his friend because he runs the T page, and he expects people to be his friend so that they can keep it cute.
Right.
So that he can keep it cute with them.
Right.
So he almost feels entitled to these relationships with Hollywood just because he is already in some type of status.
Right. Yeah. And that's one of the things that him and Amanda talked about on her podcast, Small Doses. And the episode is titled Side Effects of Gossip. And there's even a part there where he talks about how he doesn't really have friends like that. He doesn't have celebrity friends, and he doesn't consider a lot of celebrities his friends. So for him to even sit there and say, oh, I thought me and Beyonce were friends, it's just already very, I don't know. It seems a little contradicting, and it also just comes off as maybe you're a fan, and like you said, you feel entitled to people in Hollywood just only wanting to be your friend because they don't want you to write anything bad about them. When at the end of the day, whether you're friends with someone or not, you're still going to do your job, like you say, and you say multiple times again. So I'm just so very confused at everything.
You know why you're confused in my opinion?
He keeps backtracking.
Because when things don't go his way, that's when hypocrisy comes into play.
Exactly. And that was one of the biggest things that I noticed because, you know, he's quick to talk about, you know, how we should uplift like Black leaders and, you know, make room for Black journalists and, you know, invite Black journalists. Well, I just feel like it's because he wasn't invited.
Exactly.
It's really about him because I'm like, if you were invited, would you have even been saying all of this? Would you even be making this video? So now the Renaissance movie premiere made over $500 million, made a lot of money. And the film itself definitely gives credit to a lot of Black performers, Black artists, and talent. And it definitely uplifts a lot of Black art. So I'm just so confused where he's getting his information from in regards to, oh yeah, you don't do this and you should do this. And like, it's a shame on you guys because you guys are Black excellence. But it's just like, you're just mad because you as a Black journalist was not there.
And you know how I feel about people using the Black card to because
it's like, it's basically to push their own narrative. Because it's like, do you really care? Or are you just saying it because you weren't invited?
That's really what it is. And I feel like he's too prideful to really admit to that. He's too egotistical. He's too entitled. Because even in the clip, you hear him say, I got connections. I could get it to Beyonce real quick if I really wanted to. No one asked.
Right.
We know you have connections.
Right.
We know that. You're Mr. Hollywood Unlocked. You don't need to explain that or throw it. That's like, you know, I can't stand these people with such big egos. I did it with my American Express card. No one gives a fuck. I got one too. You want me to pull it out? The fuck?
Natalie Nunn.
Yeah. Like, okay, bitch, I got one too. What's good?
He said, I used my American Express card.
Right.
In the 90s, I used my American Express card at this restaurant. And they're racist. Like, girl.
Right.
Okay.
And then talk about the and then look, Ms. Natalie Nunn, the one who, you know, said a lot of colorist shit back then, want to talk about, oh, now they're racist. They don't want no Black people.
No, mind you, the owner is Black and it's a Black-owned restaurant that she was complaining about. So I'm just so confused. But that's
sorry.
So we went off track a little bit. But it's just like we can't stand we can't stand when people do those things. Like, why are you calling attention to things that honestly we didn't ask about?
And it don't matter. It doesn't change what you said. It does, because honestly, I call bullshit. I call a little bit of bullshit because people who have the ability to access Beyonce would have been done it.
Agreed. And honestly, that short video of you trying to get a picture wouldn't have been a thing.
And granted, that was before who he is now, because obviously that was before he lost weight.
Exactly.
He might have had closer connections to him then.
Right.
But bro, it's not a flex to sit there and say, I have connection to Beyonce. If I could do it, I would show it.
I just
to
feel
him.
like if someone that had connections to Beyonce wouldn't even be saying that. I'm not gonna lie, like people in the industry that I'm pretty sure have connections to Beyonce and probably are close to Beyonce are not out here going to the internet talking about how they have connections to Beyonce.
It's true.
They're quiet. They're not talking.
It's true.
They don't want anything to do with the internet.
They do sign NDAs and stuff, so.
Right. But that's how you know.
Legally.
But that's how you know also, like you're close to her.
Right, true.
That's how you know. She even says it in her song. If you want to hang out with me, you got to sign a non-disclosure.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Like,
It's true.
so Jason, stop.
And let's talk about the fact, because I'm still not even done deep diving into what he said. Like that 3-minute video had a lot of information.
Mhm.
And he wants to, again, you got to remember who Jason Lee is. He likes to consider himself a journalist, but he's very messy. And people who are messy gossip. Okay?
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to the words they choose to say. He said he donated $40,000 to the Renaissance tour. That's a lie. He didn't donate. He didn't ask. He wasn't asked any of that. He did that because, again, now keep up with me, y'all. Pay attention. He looks at business relationships as business and transactional. So he thought by investing $40,000, giving his friends and family access to the tour was going to be good enough to give him the opportunity to be invited to the Renaissance tour. Beyonce did not need your $40,000. Beyonce did not ask for it. You did it on your own because you felt that if that was the case, you would get invited. Because again, not for nothing, but it sounds like you're paying $40,000 for a ticket to the premiere. That's what it sounds like. And you didn't get invited because you felt entitled to an invite because you put your own money, but no one asked you to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's giving fan energy.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's really what I've been saying, because it's like just because you are someone of status and yeah, maybe you went to 3 Beyonce concerts and you had your name on there and da-da-da-da, maybe us normal folk, we weren't there, but still, you still giving fan energy. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit there and try to shit on other people just because of your status when at the end of the day, you'll never be on Beyonce's status. You'll never be on her level. So just relax.
And not for nothing, you trying to bring her down.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird.
To that level.
Don't sit there and say you're friends with somebody and then try to blackmail. Or even if you... So he had come out with another video and he claimed that he did not want to get Beyonce's attention. He really wanted to get her publicist attention. That was the person he was trying to reach out to because she knew what was going on or she knew what he could potentially expose. And also he wanted to get Kelly Rowland on his show. And I don't know. I just kind of feel like first you said, oh, I got connections. I can get it to Beyonce. But then you sit there and say, well, I wasn't trying to get it to Beyonce's doorstep. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird.
It's full of shit.
Everything was just a backtrack. And it didn't make any sense to me. And then he went on to compare her to Rihanna. I don't know. Did you see that clip?
A little bit.
Yeah, he went on to compare her to Rihanna and said that she's more likable and down for the culture. And I really don't know what to say about that. So what are your thoughts on that?
I just don't understand. This is the same thing I feel about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Why? The same person who wants to talk about, uplifting black people in the industry, is not only blackmailing a black woman, but then wants to sit there and compare 2 black women who are of high status, and one is in the billionaire, status, and the other one's on her way up to the billionaire. Beyonce is on her way up to the billionaire status. So there's rumors that, there's a little bit of competition there because but like, why?
I don't think there's competition. I think people make competition out of nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, people are so always quick to just pin 2 women against each other when they're minding their business, staying in their own lane. Like, this happens all the time.
And even if there is, at the end of the day, like, Jason Lee is a big hypocrite when it comes to that, because you talk about uplifting the black community in the industry while also partaking in destroying it and then putting a bad light on it. So I feel like this goes back to the same thing we talked about before. He refuses to take accountability for what roles he plays.
Right.
He thinks he's always right. He thinks that the way he words things and what he says is like, it makes sense. But sometimes it's really like you're a hypocrite and you are selfish and you only say things to get what you want. Not really because you genuinely believe that.
Right.
Because if you genuinely believed in uplifting, you wouldn't fucking be comparing two powerful women together. It was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Whether you believe it or not, whether you believe Rihanna's more likable, that's an opinion based on you as a person.
Right.
Everybody has their own opinions and you're more than welcome to believe what you want. That doesn't mean that there's this like serious, like it's just not necessary. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that. But this is also like, again, going back to, oh, you get mad when you don't get what you want. It's the same thing when he was on the Breakfast Club and referred to Jennifer Hudson as illiterate, all because Jeannie Mae didn't want to go on his show to talk about her divorce. Instead, she went on Jennifer Hudson's show to talk about her divorce. Now, I have a clip of that, so I'm going to bring it up.
She went on the Jennifer Hudson show because that's where you go when you want to get your word across, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah, we all know Jennifer Hudson's illiterate. Well, look, she went on the show to talk to her.
So later on, he did make another video on his show, and he did address what he said about Jennifer Hudson. And he said that he just thinks that she's a bad talk show host. And my thing is that, okay, guaranteed, I understand Jennifer Hudson's show may be a little bit more fun and catered towards people that kind of just want to chill. And maybe Jennifer Hudson may not ask those pressing questions. Okay, I get that. But for you to call her illiterate was just so unnecessary, out of pocket. You can sit there and say that you just don't think that she's the greatest talk show host.
Exactly.
That could have been fine. That would have sufficed. But instead, you literally said she's illiterate. Like, that is a crazy ass insult. Like, you really saying homegirl cannot read and write. Like, do you know how insane that is? And then you want to sit there and talk about, oh, I love black women. Yeah. Even Jennifer Hudson, which is what he said in his video.
He love everybody. He love everybody.
He was like, I love black women, including Jennifer Hudson, and paused for dumb long. And then he was like, I just think she's a bad talk show host. And I'm like, okay, you could have just said that. You did not have to call her illiterate. And this is what I'm saying. Like, it just feels like there's always some type of backtrack.
He's shady. So like
that's shady.
He sound like
fake.
You know the Mean Girls, you know, and they want to make it sound cute. So he's like, oh no, I didn't mean that.
Exactly.
But like you meant that.
Right.
You're just mad.
Regina George.
Yeah, you're just mad when you don't get your way. So then your real side comes out, your shady side, your Hollywood Unlocked side. That's you, baby. That's you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, so when I was like doing my research on this, it had me thinking about when we did our previous video, when we did discuss the episode that he had, the interview that he had did with Amanda Seales on her Small Doses podcast. It's called Side Effects of Gossip. And, you know, we coming from the standpoint of like reporting on things and asking great questions, we have respect for that side of him. Like, you know, 100%. We're not going to discredit him and not give him his flowers. Like, yeah, in terms of a journalist, a host, you're great. You're great at what you do. But in terms of like, you know, being messy like this and just causing issues that don't really need to be caused, I don't know. I kind of just don't respect that. You know what I mean? So like you said, like there's a difference between being a journalist and then going out and releasing information that was just not supposed to be out in the first place. Like that's just messed up, and gossiping.
Agreed. Right. So that episode is actually only exclusively on audio. It's not on camera anymore. But if you go back and listen to it, I do say that there is a difference between Hollywood Unlocked and Jason Lee as a person. The only issue is that when you start doing this for so long and you start seeing a formula that works, who Jason Lee is and Hollywood Unlocked is start to mesh.
You lose yourself.
You lose yourself in that. And that's what you see. That's what you're seeing. An entitled person who's so used to getting his way. And then he becomes, you know, you start to see a mesh between there's a little piece of Hollywood Unlocked, but then he wants to say, but I'm still Jason Lee. But Jason Lee is Hollywood Unlocked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't know how to turn it off.
Right.
And that's really the issue, because obviously Hollywood Unlocked is part of him, just like the petty headquarters is part of us. This is a part of who we are as people. You get to see a part of us. This isn't all of us, but it's part of us. When you don't know how to turn it off and you don't know how to just be who you are and outside of this realm, that's when it becomes an issue, because those lines blur.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like you said, like, I respect him as what he's built, the niche that he shined light on, allowing, I've given my praise to Jason Lee.
Right.
However, who you are as a person is becoming that business, and that's where it's alarming.
I feel like he's been this way, though.
Yeah?
I feel like he's been this way.
You think so?
Yes. He's always been this way.
So you think when he was out doing government assistant work and stuff like that, that was a part of him too?
I'm talking about before. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about before he was Hollywood Unlocked. I'm talking about when he became Hollywood Unlocked and became huge, and he became who he is today. I feel like from that point, it's been like that, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. But it becomes a monster. And I feel like, again, like, before Hollywood Unlocked, Jason Lee was doing like a bunch of fucking work for like helping people. That's what his thing was. He loves to help people. He was good at networking. That's always been him. He just found a niche, right? He found the niche that works for him. And you slowly, the Hollywood Unlocked is a part of him, but I feel like you start to become this monster. You know what I'm saying? And the bigger you are, the ego, your ego gets filled, your pockets get filled with money, and then you start to feel entitled. You're sitting in a room with a bunch of high status people. That's when you easily lose yourself. And I feel like, yeah, maybe he's always had it in him, or maybe it's always been in him, but it's not. I personally believe before Hollywood Unlocked is not who he always was. I just feel like people become that way once you get sucked into that industry, and you don't know how to keep yourself grounded, and you don't surround yourself around people who are grounded,
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like, you do, I guess people, I don't know. If you're not grounded, you lose yourself. If you don't have people or important people around you to keep you grounded, then you lose yourself. And I remember him talking about, the situation he grew up in. He did not grow up in a loving home. Like, it was very toxic and it was an abusive home. That's what he grew up in. He grew up in foster care. Lost his brother. Like, he did not grow up in a loving situation. So it's like, who do you have around you to keep you grounded? So it's like, if you don't have anyone around you that you love, that you share the love with, that you're close to keep you grounded, then you do lose yourself being in that scene.
100%.
You do. And so this is what you see with him, I guess, because oh, that's so sad.
And honestly, I feel like what we're gonna see, I don't know. I have a feeling that something's going to come out very soon, whether it's with Jay-Z, Beyonce, with the whole Diddy thing coming out. You know how I feel.
Yo.
And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Jason needs to be careful, because like at the end of the day,
he already said he was threatened by Nicki Minaj and her goons and her husband. So he got to chill.
Yeah. He
got to chill.
You know what though? I'm not even worried about people in the industry more so. I'm just saying like your karma. Like I'm big on that shit, yo.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. Like, y'all have no idea. I've seen people with townhouses in West 4th Street in Manhattan who literally die alone because money don't buy you everything.
Yeah.
If you're not a good person, really, truly, your karma really does come back at the end. And when it matters, when you want it to matter the most, that's when you're going to feel it. And I feel like when I say be careful, I'm just like, bro, none of these people are going to be on your deathbed or when you're sick.
True.
They're not going to be there. And you just need to be a good person and make sure that your karma is more on the good side than not, because it's all going to come back to you.
So
one
question,
day.
If he was a good person, do you think he'd be as big as he is today?
No, definitely not. And that's what we talk about all the time. I was telling Tiana, I was like, y'all know the whole Diddy thing going around and Jay-Z.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was telling her, like, I've never really been a fan of Jay-Z. I never really been a fan of Beyonce. And, like, I respect her music, but the idolization of them, I never really was into it, because at the end of the day, and I've seen it, in order to reach a certain level of status, you have to be a certain person. And that's just the reality of it. That's literally the reality. If you want to be a multi-billionaire, you have to be everything that you criticized in your raps when you were broke and had nothing. You know, you have to be the evil. You have to be. If not, like, you're not gonna get there, because there's a lot of, you know, the white elite. You have to suck their dick, like, you know, and that's just the reality of it. So, yeah, no, he wouldn't be where he's at. He wouldn't be, but he would be somewhere. But I mean, that's just, again, that's that greed, that's that money, you know?
Yeah. So a couple, I guess, I don't even know how long it was after, but after this whole situation, he did make another video where he basically says that he used Beyonce's name for clickbait, and Black Twitter ate it up. So I'm just going to play this video, and yeah.
Now, I'm going to keep my day job of coming here and saying what I think, even if it goes viral. Shout out to the Beehive. Because that's what I do for a living. I'm a culture critic. Just like somebody can say that Renaissance is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which, by the way, I'm going to give it a round of applause because it's an amazing project. We actually went to go see it the other day. I was looking for me. I did not see me in it.
I was looking for you too.
Because I went to 3 of the shows. We went to one of them as well. Stage. And Beyonce, as you know, blew a kiss to me and even held her stomach. No, she's not pregnant. She held her stomach because that's the love goes that low. Okay, for me. Lord. If you missed that, I got that receipt. Take a look. We love you, Beyonce. Well, she does. She loves me. I've already said many times Beyonce knows who I am, and I love her. The last show, I know I said, if you don't give me Kelly Rowland, I'm going to spill the tea. Let's be very clear. I learned how to use all of you gullible people on the internet to make my content go viral, so that way I can make sure that the destination of my words lands at the front door of the person that I intended them for. I did not intend for that to necessarily be at Beyonce's front door, although I know that if the B that we're talking about sees it, then the B that we were talking about will see it too. That was a message for Yvette Noel-Schure, who I have a lot of respect for. And you can say, oh my God, well, how do you take a shot at somebody you have respect for? Let me find the answer for you. Now, that don't mean I want to shoot Yvette down. That means I want her to get the message. And I do believe the message, thankfully for all of you, has gotten to her. The message is we all have to support one another. This is a game that requires all of us to work together, regardless of who you are. You can be Beyonce, the biggest artist in the world. You could be the Michael Jackson of this era, or you could be Iggy Azalea. Doesn't matter. At any end of the spectrum, everybody needs to support everybody a lot more. And I do think that it's less about going to see the Renaissance tour film, because I know a lot of you, not a lot of you, but some of you YouTubers were saying I was mad because I didn't get to go see the film. You couldn't afford to go see the actual concert. I went to 3 of them and I had great seats. And the seats that I sit in, both at the concert and everywhere in the world, you're never there. Your name is never on them. You know, you use me for content because that little YouTube money keeps your little apartment in the hood moving. And look, I appreciate that everybody acknowledges that I'm the king of this internet shit. Like, there's nobody that does it better than me, even though they get up there and say, girl.
So there's more to that clip. That clip is like 6 minutes long, but we only included the 2-minute clip in here. But clearly in that post, you see.
Yo. First of all, why are you so thirsty for Beyonce? I thought it was gonna be like more like, oh, like she's not even, it's not even that deep. You want her to acknowledge you so bad.
You want Beyonce's attention so bad. Like, yeah, she knows me. Like, why are you so pressed to be like, why? Why are you so pressed to have Beyonce know you? I'm so confused. But then you want to sit there and say, I have connections. I can get stuff to Beyonce's door. But then you want to backtrack and say, oh, well, I didn't mean for it to be at her doorstep. Yeah. I wanted to get her publicist attention. But like, I'm so confused.
If you had the connections, you should have just done that privately.
Exactly.
If you really had the connections.
If you really had the connections. But then it's so funny because in this clip specifically, again, I'm not going to show the whole thing, but he also noted as the video continues, because I watched the whole thing, so I got stuff in quotes. He said in quotes, I would never share tea about Beyonce on Hollywood Unlocked. And he also, like I said earlier, cleared up the whole situation where he said, I support Black women, even Jennifer Hudson. And then that's when he said, I just think she's a bad talk show host. But we already cleared that up. And he also continued to say in that video that Black Twitter is the most destructive platform because you guys only want to cancel us. And again, it's just very, I don't know. I feel like everything just contradicts. You say you support something, but then you go around and do another. You say you love Beyonce, but then you kind of try to threaten her publicist. Whether it was her publicist or Beyonce, that's still Beyonce and her team.
You still used her name.
Exactly. You still used her name. And then you want to sit there and say, yeah, I do this internet shit. I know how to get my message across. But it's like, again, you used Beyonce's name for clickbait. Now, someone that is her friend, someone that actually can get stuff at her doorstep, and someone that is actually connected to her wouldn't have to do those things.
Yep.
So it's giving poser and it's giving fan energy.
100%.
Just because you have status, and yes, you may have more money than these normal YouTubers, that doesn't mean that you're exempt from being a poser in the industry and a fan.
100%.
So I just feel like also, when he went on to continue to make his derogatory comments about the YouTubers, I was like, oh my God, now I know you hurt, because didn't you just say, like in the first clip, you literally said you felt some type of way about not being invited. And then now you're getting upset because YouTubers are reporting on the same thing you said, using your video.
Mm-hmm.
We're not making shit up. We're not pulling shit out of our ass.
Right.
But you want to sit there and say, well, you couldn't even afford it. Okay, well, Beyonce's not your friend.
No matter what, whether we could afford a fucking whatever,
Right,
it
right.
doesn't change
Like,
the facts.
Of the day, who cares whether you have more status or whether we could afford shit, have our name on shit, get invited to shit or not? Nigga,
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day,
She's still not your friend.
Beyonce's not your friend. You're not connected to her, and you never will be. Let's just clear that up.
Yeah.
So you didn't need to go on there and flex of it. Yo, they always do that.
They always do.
Yo, at this point,
They
always
always
do that. It's like you have
do.
nothing else to say.
That's all
but
you got.
that. That's all you got. Next. What else you gonna fucking say?
Yeah.
What else is there to say? Because at this point,
Yeah.
clearly you were triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly you were triggered because all these YouTubers is using your name for content. Weren't you doing the same with Beyonce's name?
Thank you.
Weren't you using fucking Beyonce's name for content? Pack the shit up. Pack the shit the fuck up. I swear to God, David,
Yo, so fucking hypocritical. It's
OD.
it's like wild. Like
OD.
you be looking at them like, are you fucking dumb?
OD.
Like you gotta be purposely being dumb.
Right. Talking about you couldn't even afford to go. I went 3 times and I had my name in a seat. You could even,
But
I
you
got
still wasn't.
invited.
You still wasn't in the movie.
Right.
You still wasn't invited.
Right.
You still not her friend.
Right. Whether we could afford it or not,
Yo,
nigga,
and
that doesn't change the fact that you're not really as connected to Beyonce as you think you are.
And
you're
he's
not.
such a fan because he's like, I was looking for myself in the movie.
OD. Oh yeah, she blew a kiss at me.
and held
Be
her stomach.
fucking
What?
for real. Oh, she's not pregnant, but be fucking for
What
real.
does that even mean?
Like, at the end of the day, we respect you as a host and what you do with your job, but we are going to call it for what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And this is what the fuck it is. So pack it the fuck
What
up.
did he mean by she held her stomach because the love go that deep? What the fuck does that even mean, bro?
I don't know.
It doesn't even make sense. I'm confused.
It really does. Again, like we said, it sounds like you are just a fan of Beyonce and you want her to notice you so fucking bad.
Yeah, like a little boy
And you
throwing
still
temper
haven't
tantrums.
achieved that, even being in the industry. You haven't gotten that far, and that's fine. I mean, you had some great seats, though. I'll give you that. You had some great seats. That's great. But, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like her blowing a kiss at you,
It don't mean nothing.
it doesn't mean shit. You know how many times these celebrities be doing that,
Bro.
and they see so much people and they have so much lights in their face, they don't even know who the fuck they looking at.
Yo, for real.
They just fucking do it. They just do it just because.
Like these, like Natalie Nunn is
Yo,
a great example.
Oh my
of
God,
that.
every time. I don't even be saying hi, and then she be
I
like,
love you. Oh, thank you.
I be wanting to ask a question, and she don't be hearing me. I swear to God.
She'd just
She'll
be like,
look
"I
at
love
my
you."
Yeah, like she's like, I love you so much. Or she'll be like, Betty, shut the clock. Because she's already like overstimulated and
Yup.
like the fans are being so crazy. But like when I go to ask a question, she's just like, like, you know, because she's just so used to everyone else being
just fangirling.
Exactly. So I would never even be able to ask the fucking question because, bitch.
So imagine if that's not only none, you think Beyonce really sitting there pinpointing you in the crowd and
like, oh yeah, trust me, if she wanted to, she would have. She gave Issa Rae her flowers. She gave Todrick Hall, his flowers. She would have. You would have known, and I bet you would be posting about it all day. We would have seen something by now. If Beyonce really acknowledged you, we would have seen it all over the show. It would have went viral. We would have seen all the short clips. It would have been on TikTok. It would have been everywhere.
And he want to flex that photo he took of her when he was big, bro. That was a fan photo.
Exactly. Let's just call it for what it is. You don't got pull when it comes to Beyonce, bro. Let's just be honest. Just be honest. Like, we're not coming for you, but like, this is just the way it looks.
And it's unfortunate because, being in this umbrella of, journalism and reporting on celebrity drama and reality TV, we're kind of in the same umbrella. I feel like we are not Hollywood Unlocked at all, but there's an umbrella and it's very broad. So I feel like we fall under it, and it's unfortunate because people like him
ruin it for people like
us. Exactly.
Like, we are chill. Like, we do not invade personal space. Like, we do not pride ourselves on getting blocked. We're not doing, like, if you come for us, then we coming for you. But we don't come for nobody unprovoked.
Right.
Like, it's just so weird. We don't do any of that weird messy shit. Like, we really don't.
Yeah, we want to keep it a buck. Like, that's really what it is, because you don't see that on the internet. Especially the higher you go, the more you start to see all the fake Hollywood shit. You really do, and it's crazy because we're not even there yet.
We're not even there
and we see
yet.
it. We see it. It's crazy. So it's like, it really is unfortunate because you got people from the Beehive community talking about, they shit on him like, oh, you're just a gossiper who talks about reality TV. Your people are Krishan. Keep talking about Krishan, Blueface, and all them. And it's unfortunate because, I really do appreciate acknowledging these reality TV stars. That, I really do. I feel like there is room for everybody to win. I really do. There's so much money in this fucking world, yo. Like, there's so much. Like, so it's like, it's unfortunate because now you got people who are pissed off and they want to look at you like, oh, you're just a ghetto reporter, or you just report on trash TV, and you're acting like the shit that you are reporting on. Which is unfortunate.
And you already know how I feel about that. That makes me feel some type of way because I don't even know how to put this into words. I don't know how to put it into words. I feel like I don't know. Just because it's not the news that you want, just because it's not fucking CNN, or just because I'm not reporting on the Kardashians, or just because this is not TMZ, which is actually worse. But y'all don't give the same energy to TMZ that you guys give to reality TV. And I don't like that. And we already talked about it here on earlier episodes, and that's it. Just because we don't report on the white people shit, that doesn't mean that this is still not something that is entertaining or that should be reported on.
Or if it's just a little bit more in quote unquote ghetto.
According to what people want to say. Like, it doesn't have to be. But you know what's crazy though? The only reason why, what's crazy? So I've seen some ghetto white shit and no one calls it ghetto. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's that.
And we've had this conversation before because Mob Wives and Jersey Shore is ghetto as fuck. But you guys don't talk about those reality TV shows the same way that you talk about other reality TV shows. So I don't really know. I don't want to get too deep about that because that's not the topic.
That's another
day. And I just don't like that. So yeah, that's pretty much all we have to say about, this whole Jason Lee Beyonce thing.
I'm kind of curious to know like what y'all think about Jason Lee, especially like with our audience, with people who watch us. Like, I'm curious to know your take on how you feel about him, this whole situation, because I feel like there's always such mixed reviews when it comes to Jason Lee. But I don't know. Hopefully we get some more tea, and I'm not saying more so on the blackmailing end, but right.
But I mean, the video that I showed you, he claims he wasn't trying to do all that. He was just trying to get the publicist attention.
Yeah, but he's clear for a reason. Things that we don't know about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Things that he clearly didn't speak on.
Mm-hmm.
But he also knew that his first video would garner the attention that it did.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to just people playing with the internet and knowing how it works.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Him doing that?
On purpose?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's good at what he does, right? He wouldn't be where he's at without knowing how it works. And you know, we not for nothing, we do the same thing. You know, like once you start to understand the marketing aspect of the internet, like, yeah, that's how that's how it works, which is why we're here to keep y'all.
Except we're not like,
thinking.
We're not like messy like
No, we're not saying here like you do, but like there is still truth to that, right? You clip something because you know it's gonna go, you know, and garner attention, and then when people, you know, you weed out the people who actually go see the full thing, and it's really a thing. Like all influencers who have some type of status or understand the game, they know that,
right?
You know, and it's about using the power for good or for bad. Either way, you're still using the power. We use it more on the good end, and Jason Lee wants to be a messy bitch, so he's going to use it on the bad end. You know, like, that's just what it is. Like, that's the reality of it, which is why it's always important, you as an audience and you as a listener, to always be aware and not believe everything you see on the internet. Because at the end of the day, these people are not who they portray to be always online.
And nobody's your friend.
Nobody's your friend.
Nobody's your friend.
Make real friends outside in the world, because I'm
Right.
telling you, y'all, this industry gets crazy. It's, and you know, we see it. We see it. We see it.
Long story short, that's it. But yes.
What about you? What do you think about like that?
Like him, what he did?
Purposely doing what he does.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised, which is why, you know, even with the first clip, it was like, OMG, oh my God. But then I was like, wait, it's Jason Lee. Like, I don't really know. You know, like, I feel like you can never really tell with him.
It's not hard to sit there and go,
right.
do the face. Yup, T. That's T right there.
Bleep that out.
Right, yeah, bleep.
It's not hard.
It's not hard, y'all. Y'all gotta really think. Y'all really gotta be on your toes and see these people, because that's how it goes. They eat it up.
For real. It's so true. And I guess he knows that. He knows how the internet works. And people, like you said, people are so quick to just be like, and run with it. Mm-hmm. People are not the type to go and research. Like, you know, I'm the type to be like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Go to Twitter, go to YouTube, go to, you know, wherever TikTok. I need to go. I'm going everywhere to see if what you are talking about is valid, or to see what's the tea. Mm-hmm. I'm going everywhere, especially if it's some crazy shit like that. I'm going everywhere. I need to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But not everybody's built like that. So of course, especially it's Beyonce, you know, she's Beyonce. The Beehive is going to go wild. And he knew that. Mm-hmm. He knew that.
Yeah. The same thing with like a Nicki Minaj fan base as well. You know, they're very like mob-like.
Very mob-like.
Very culty and all that
Very
stuff.
Culty. That's definitely the word. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he knew that, and he knew it would garner attention. And honestly, he got what he wanted. So people are getting upset, but it's like, don't even waste your energy getting upset when it comes to Jason Lee, because like you're giving him what he wants. You're literally giving him what he wants.
Which is why you come to the petty headquarters and we keep it a buck. We do the research for you, baby. We keep it here. We keep it real.
Come to the petty headquarters. Oh man.
Yeah, okay. But that's the internet. That's the internet for you, y'all. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay smart, you know.
For real.
Don't just hop on anything without knowing, you know.
Right.
That's really what it is at the end of the day. Because these people who have status, they know what they're doing. Like that, like even our friend DJ Sky, like E.T. had come out and said that, you know, that fight that she had posted and said, thanks E.T. for holding it down in the neighborhood. And it was like, it was an old fight. E.T. had came out and said it was an old fight. She just did that because she wanted like to go like, you know, just to stir up the internet. And it's like, it's not, that's what we do.
Right.
It's what we do. It's a business. Like the internet's a business at the end of the day. When engagement is slow, you got to do something. You know, that's just what the reality of it is, which is why it's important to always just, you know, think before, you know, being Twitter fingers and being on that keyboard talking shit, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Really do your research and, you know.
Yeah, and not everybody looks at the internet like a business like that. Not everybody is seeing the internet like that. Like some people just go and they're like, oh, this is entertainment for me.
This is news.
Like this is news, which I'm just like, you should not, I'm sorry, you should not take what you see on social media as news, bitch. You're going to have to really go and do your research because not everything is news. There's a lot of fake news and there's a lot of pages too not telling the truth.
Or just taking things out of context to fit a certain narrative or to stir a certain emotion.
Or using a specific caption as crazy clickbait when it wasn't even that deep. And not for nothing, like when we were looking up research for this, I kept seeing tons of videos. Solange goes off on Jason Lee. And it was nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck? What did she actually say though? What did she actually do? Where's the receipts of the, I'm literally researching. Like, you don't understand. I'll deep dive the internet looking to see if I could get a screenshot of something. There was nothing of Solange saying anything. Trying to blacklist Jason Lee or threaten him. And there was so many videos saying Solange threatens Jason Lee. Solange tries to blacklist Jason Lee. And I was like, wow.
Jay-Z calls out Jason Lee.
Yeah, there was even this video. Jay-Z snatches the phone out of Jason Lee's hand for taking pictures and videos of Beyonce, and it wasn't even Jason Lee in the video. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of person where I'm very, like, I'm looking, okay? I'm detail-oriented, and I'm making sure. So other people are not like that. They get caught up in the fake news, and you guys.
And that's okay. That's okay. You know, that's why you come to the petty headquarters so we can do the research for you. Not a lot of people care enough to even do all that, but that's what we, you know. That's why we here
for real, because we be doing the work for everybody. They be like, yeah, y'all did the work for me. Like, I be like, yeah. But another thing I want to say before we go is that this whole industry shit is just so fucking weird because look at someone of Jason Lee and his status, and he's still a fan.
Yeah.
Seeing how that works is kind of trippy to me because these are these same people, Jason Lee, how he's still quick to look down on people beneath him, look down on the YouTubers, look down on whoever's just not on his level. But at the same time, you're still not on Beyonce's level.
Right.
And you're still a fan, just like maybe there's someone that's a fan of you.
Right.
And it just reminds me, it's just interesting too, how like, you know, for example, Ice Spice. Before Ice Spice became Ice Spice, none of these people was checking for her. None of these people in the industry is checking for her. Now that Ice Spice is Ice Spice, you see a lot of industry people in her comments. They may not be A-listers, but they are a lot of industry people in her comments trying to get her attention, trying to get some type of clout off of her, fanning over her. And I'm like, look at y'all. Look at y'all. Y'all the same ones that want to talk shit about people beneath y'all, but y'all are also the same ones trying to dick ride Ice Spice because y'all want something.
Exactly. And that, you know, and that's why I really fuck with the people who have been supporters of us before all the, you know, before anything and before we're still, you know,
we're
nothing.
Still new,
but
right,
you know, it's really hard to find genuine people in the industry, and we are very well aware of that. And the higher you go, the harder it is, and it is funny because it becomes so egotistical. It kind of makes me sick.
It makes me so sick because you do not need it. Be people that aren't, again, like what we said about so and so that talk about don't be sending. Now I ain't gonna say the whole thing on here because I feel like people who watch us may watch them too. So and it's crazy because that person is not even up there.
Wait. Who are you talking about? Word.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know. That's T. Put a beep on that. Oh, shit. That's a fact. I forgot about that, bitch.
Let me do the next one and put a beep on it.
Yo, for
These fucking bitches like really be acting like their shit don't stink, and I just be like, bitch, shut the fuck up, because you're not better than me.
Mm-hmm.
You're not better than us, and honestly, your shit and the petty headquarters shit is doing the same fucking numbers. So what's really tea? Ooh, what's really fucking tea?
And they got more followers. So how we doing the same numbers?
Right. You got more followers, but we doing the same numbers and racking in the same views as you, and we have less motherfucking followers.
Way
How
less.
the fuck does that? We got 324, bitch. You're in the K's. How the fuck does that work?
Yeah. No, yo.
How the fuck does that work? But you want to shit on us and be fucking funny and be weird. And that's why I don't be saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I just be staying focused, and that's it. It is what it is. Because I bet you if we were on an Ice Spice level, you be the first one sucking our dick.
100%.
You be the first one in our DMs. You be the first one in our comments. So this is why I'm just like, this fake shit, this fake people shit, this fake internet shit, this fake fucking industry shit is weird, bro. It's so weird. Because Jason Lee is the same one shitting on normal people and shitting on YouTubers, right?
It's so funny because coming from his
but
background.
wants to suck Beyonce's dick.
You know what's interesting? It's like he came from the system.
You came from nothing.
And he want to talk about, oh, you guys barely pay your rent and da-da-da.
Yeah, which is really crazy because I'm like, you really grew up, you know, in foster care.
Yeah.
Like you came from a toxic environment, and you would think that someone that grew up in that would kind of like not be that type of person, but it's not all the time. And it's just like, damn, you would think that you would be empathetic, but I guess not, or just not think that you're above everybody. And I don't have respect for people like that. I really, really, really don't like when people do that, because at the end of the day, don't forget where you fucking come from. And clearly he forgot where he came from.
And that goes back to what we said. When you don't keep people who are real around you and grounded, that's how you end up in that. Because I mean, really, you know, who does he have other than, I mean, look, I don't know his personal life. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, when you lose yourself with that much, if my mother ever heard me speaking like that, she'll slap me across my face. Like, what the fuck? Don't act like you were.
But it just shows that you have, like, you know, good people that raised you and good people around you that will help keep you grounded. Like, family is important in times like, you know, these, and times when you're just going up. Family is important.
Yeah.
Not the fake ones, though. The real
family and friends are the only ones. And
the real ones. The real ones.
You can count them in your hands. That's how small it is.
Exactly. You know? Same goes for Beyonce. She got a small ass circle. Why would you, Jason Lee, be a part of that? I don't get it. So, yes, if you guys made it this far to the video, thank you for tuning in. Let us know your comments and how you feel about this whole situation.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to hear what you guys got to say. Like to hear, again, like how you feel about Jason Lee and what he does and the hypocrisy he, you know, always is fucking blurring out or whatever.
Right.
And
So,
yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I just comment anything at this point because I just love to see y'all support. I really do. It's nice to see y'all out there.
Yeah. So where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Jessie.Strange, JESSI.Strange on Instagram. And Tiana, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at randommania1 on Instagram. You guys can find the Petty Headquarters on YouTube at Petty Sim Productions. We release episodes every Tuesday at 4 p.m. We're on Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. If you want to check out my funny sim talks, they're on TikTok at Petty Sim Productions. And yes, am I leaving anything out? No, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you can find us on Instagram at the Petty Headquarters. Dumb asshole.
Hey, and give us suggestions if y'all have topics you want us to cover.
For real. Definitely send us a DM or whatever. So yes, with that being said, this was your weekly dose of mess. Blah, 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 blah.